If doctors are capable of making mistakes that can kill people, imagine the mistakes that they're making with mentally ill people. Not only did several members of the UWI hospital staff violate my human rights, I watched them violate the human rights of other patients and treat them with zero empathy. That was almost 3 years ago, but I let it slide at the time because I knew that I graduated from the same university as these doctors and nurses, and UWI is a very good school. So all I would need to do is to apply the knowledge, and I would need some time to do so. But they also say that revenge is a dish best served cold, so I was not really in any rush to reach this point. I was in the Faculty of Science and Technology. The doctors and nurses come from the Faculty of Medical Sciences. When I was at Psychiatric, people would say it's a nightmare. They would complain and they would be failing. So they would transfer to MedSci and they would say it's so much easier and they would stop failing. That partially might have been due to the fact that our assessment methods are more rigorous. So we have to do labs and we also have to do essay exams. Meanwhile, apparently, a lot of the exams over by MedSci are multiple choice. Even lecturers told us that what they had to teach us in 6-week courses and things that we had to do labs for, they had to reduce to us a few slides for our future healthcare providers. But I also went over social sciences to do some psychology courses, and it's those courses that made me realize that I am mentally ill. So when I ended up down at Ward 21 and they were treating me like I'm less than human and that may have no sense just because I was exhibiting symptoms of mental illness, even though my brain was very scrambled at the time, I could do some quick calculations. I said, if it seems like Psychiatric is harder than MedSci, and I wasn't really trying to excel, I wasn't trying to get first class honors, I wasn't trying to be on the dean's list every year, I was really just doing enough to not fail because I knew that if I failed even one course, I would kill myself. So that plus the fact that I was working full-time in a toxic environment, I said to myself, I must be smarter than these people. So I just allowed myself to play their little superiority game. There's a particular psychiatrist who is from the Santa Cruz Health Center, and she really inspired me because she was the last straw. I was trying to explain to her the different traumas that led up to my psychosis. Not only did she not care and she was extremely rude, but she said to me that she can see mental illness on me and I am not normal, so I need to take medication. So when I asked her what normal is, she told me that when she sees it on me, she will tell me. It's not that I hate every psychiatrist because it's a very brilliant psychiatrist who wrote The Myth of Normal, and that entire book basically proves that that Santa Cruz psychiatrist is probably the biggest idiot in healthcare. However, she was not wrong. I am not normal. That was back in 2020, and technically I created this channel to prove one day that my madness is really just a side effect of me being extremely intelligent in a very sick society. So let me explain a fraction of the thought processes behind me creating videos to get rid of the most annoying symptom that I was experiencing, which was erotomania. And that is the reason why a lot of these videos are about alkaline. I am not denying that I was struggling with my mental health, because for me to be going crazy over any man or as a dancehall artist, something had to be terribly wrong with me. I was aware of that, so to hold on to reality, I had to study physics and philosophy. The problem back in early 2022 was that I was still very delusional and thought alkaline knew all the science I knew. So in this video I said, I feel this man is smarter than Einstein. In psychology, that is called projection. You cannot be delusional if you can consider the possibility that your beliefs are false. And that's why in this video I said that I have a theory that alkaline has been talking to someone through his art all this time. Meaning that if new facts or evidence could prove otherwise, I would readily abandon the theory. But his fans sincerely believe he is a next level genius, so some welcomed this new idea that had the potential to confirm their belief. This video served to report how I used the sciences, philosophy, and mathematics to understand my psychotic experience. In it, I admitted I assumed alkaline was smarter than me, but shortly after that, I finally realized I was projecting my own intelligence onto him. but I knew I could use this to my advantage to continue advocating for mental health. I created this video to prove that when it comes to neuroscience and psychology, I know exactly what I'm talking about. I was also explaining how mental illness in Jamaica can be attributed to failings on the part of the Jamaican government. If I were to say my incarnation on this planet was really God's way of responding to Jamaica's national anthem, despite the fact that people always tell me I'm a blessing, because of a schizophrenia diagnosis, I'd be seen as having grandiose delusions. But if I say that about a celebrity, that's normal in this society. So in my review of this music video, I not only claimed alkaline is God's gift to Jamaica, but I also interpreted the video with my vision and passed it as his for a better future, because people are more receptive to ideas that they think come from someone they already believe in. Here, I had mentioned how I was treated in Ward 21 and that staff members tried to exorcise me, and one even pushed me in the middle of my head, saying that it's because of me why they can't have nice things. Seeing that I had never met that woman in my life, I assumed she was talking to the devil. I even overheard a nurse saying, "You see why you shouldn't trust nice people?" And I said, if these idiots are in healthcare, medicine, and think the only possible cause of my psychosis is the devil, then by speaking in tongues, alkaline has given me the perfect opportunity to prove with psychology why it's more logical for people to fear me instead of the devil, because the devil is imaginary and I am not. So that inspired these two videos where I admittedly say some crazy sounding stuff, but I explicitly state with the aid of psychology how I accrued knowledge of the occult and witchcraft. So I knew it was finally time to bring things back to UHWI. I always knew that it doesn't matter whether or not alkaline knows I exist. The only thing that truly matters is the way I interpreted his art and how well I could use science to support my interpretation. That was the purpose of this video, plus to prove that there is a perfectly sound scientific explanation behind demon possession. Apart from the fact that I decided I'd rather it go on record that I went crazy over a man I've actually interacted with, because grandiose delusions are inaccurate beliefs about one's greatness, in this video I was explaining once again with the aid of science that me being a divine genius is a fact, not a delusion. My biggest psychological problem was not erotomania, it was my savior complex. I cared about people too much. For the longest while, I've desperately wanted to say that even though you hear me talking about twin flame, I don't actually want that man. I persisted in this path because I thought it was the best path for me to help everyone who is wishing for a change. In this, I was also explaining that I finally found the perfect balance between respecting science and my spirituality. And I finally admitted that I've been playing chess all this time. I used to always say, no man can mad me, stress me out, and tell me for idiot. So honestly, I started seeing this as a compliment that God would concoct something this messed up for me to experience the same thing that normal women are always experiencing. But early 2022, I went psychotic for the last time, and I was so frustrated that I finally told a psychiatrist, non-Jamaican psychiatrist, that I was having problems getting rid of a delusion related to an artist, and I explained it to him in terms of Spinoza's theory of God. And when he heard that, he said to me, "I don't think you're schizophrenic. I don't think you've ever been schizophrenic. You had problems with religion, and now that you're pulling away from it and trying to figure yourself out, you're having mental health issues. What you really are is a higher power." I haven't had psychosis ever since then. So I'm officially cured of depression and schizophrenia because nothing is really wrong with me anymore. I'm just a spiritual woman who reads a lot and thinks for herself. But seeing that I had to either lie or withhold information from professionals to reach this point, plus the fact that I was able to diagnose myself with schizophrenia at least a year before professionals caught on so that I could work on getting rid of the symptoms by myself, means that the system is very ineffective. So my references are in the description box below.